Hello, all my dear friends, and welcome to the show CrimeTak. Today, we're diving into the story of an operation named Operation Cactus, a remarkable Indian Army operation. Post-independence, India has executed many operations, but this operation stands out as a successful mission carried out abroad. At the time, many nations hadn't even considered such a possibility. The country where this operation took place appealed to Britain, us Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and others for help, but each had their own issues, leaving them indecisive. India, however, took a decisive step, where in just 9 hours, India made the decision, deployed its army, and completely changed the scenario. This operation was not without its challenges. The army was not fully prepared due to the sudden nature of the operation. Terrorists and rebels were advancing, and the country's leaders were in danger of being kidnapped. Time was of the essence. Despite the challenges, the operation had to start as soon as possible. The army was told to prepare for the mission, highlighting India's readiness to act swiftly in the face of adversity. The Maldives, a small yet stunning country, is a favorite holiday destination for many. It's not just a paradise for tourists, but also home to around 25,000 Indians. Some may not know where this gem is located. So, nestled in an Indian Ocean, the Maldives is the smallest country in Asia, both in terms of population and area. The Maldives is made up of about 1,200 small islands, or lamps as they're sometimes called. These islands together form the beautiful country we know today. Many movie stars from Mumbai have a soft spot for the Maldives. It's not just a holiday hotspot, but also a popular location for shooting films. Despite its small size, the Maldives has a population of 4 or 5 lakhs. It's a small country with a big heart, welcoming tourists and residents alike. So, whether you're planning a holiday or considering a new place to call home, the Maldives is a destination worth exploring. Its beauty and charm are sure to captivate you. Climate change is a global concern, but for the Maldives, it's an existential threat. The nation's low-lying islands are at risk of being swallowed by the sea. The Maldives is unique in that no part of it rises more than 6 feet above sea level. This makes it extremely vulnerable to rising sea levels and storm surges. Maldivian leaders and environmental activists are acutely aware of this threat. They've even held a cabinet meeting underwater to symbolize the danger they face. The Maldivian government has made promises to its people. They are committed to using their resources to combat this threat. The Maldives is on the front line of the battle against climate change. If we don't act now, this beautiful nation could be the first to disappear beneath the waves. Imagine having to relocate an entire country. And it's a daunting task, but for the Maldives, it's a reality they may face due to rising sea levels. The Maldives is surrounded by the sea. Climate changes, sudden snowfall, and fog are all threats. The country could drown at any time. The solution: buy land elsewhere and move the entire population to a safer location. It's a matter of shifting the whole country to a secure place. The Maldives gained independence from British in 1960s. After a brief rule by kings, a democratic government was established. Maumoon Abdul Gayoom was the first president, ruling for about 30 years. However, the current situation is filled with confusion. The future of the Maldives is uncertain, but the possibility of relocating an entire country is a reality they may have to face. Maumoon Gayoom, former president of Maldives, a name synonymous with power and control. For 30 years, he ruled unopposed, his reign resembling a dictatorship. With no opposition, Gayoom's power went unchecked. His rule was absolute, his voice the only one heard. This was the reality for 3 decades. Then a journalist stepped forward. He called for new laws, for reforms. Unemployment was on the rise, and the Maldives relied heavily on tourism, their main income source. Enter the former democratically elected president of the Maldives, Mohammed Nasheed. He ran a campaign challenging Mr. Gayoom's reign. In 2008, after 30 years, he was finally defeated. He lost to Nasheed, a symbol of change. But Gayoom, he wasn't finished. He returned to power, where he remains today. His story is one of resilience and tenacity. In November 1988, Gayoom, the president, was invited India by the Indian Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi. This marked a significant moment in his reign, highlighting his international relationships and goodwill. The rise and reign of Maumoon Abdul Gayoom, a tale of power, resilience, and change. In 1988, a political crisis unfolded in the Maldives. A businessman named Abdullah Luthufi and his friend Sikka, Ahmed Ismail, Manik plotted to overthrow the government. Their goal was to remove President Abdul Gayoom from power. However, they lacked the necessary support from the Maldives army. So, they sought help from a neighboring country. Maldives is close to Sri Lanka, where a group called the People's Liberation Organization of Tamil Eelam PLOTE to overthrow the government in the island Republic of Maldives. The attempt was thwarted with Indian assistance in Operation Cactus. So PLOTE was active. Luthufi and his friend Sikka Ahmed decided to leverage this for their coup. The Indian government, aware of the situation, offered President Gayoom a lifeline. They sent a ship to transport him to India, ensuring his safety during this turbulent time. This operation, known as Operation Cactus, showcases India's successful intervention in a neighboring country's crisis. In 1988, a Sri Lankan terrorist organization plotted to overthrow power in the Maldives. Businessmen Abdullah Luthufi and Sikka Ahmed conspired with this organization. Their plan was to seize control. About 200 terrorists arrived in Maldives via speedboat on November 3rd. They were armed, dressed in uniform, and unchecked. Their arrival was timed for when the President of India was visiting Delhi. The Indian government had already sent a plane. Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, crucial to the elections, had to leave Delhi. The plane had already departed. This was a calculated attempt to exploit a moment of vulnerability, a chilling reminder of the lengths some will go to seize power. The Maldives, a tropical paradise, is under threat. But it's not from political unrest or economic instability. The real danger is rising sea level. This threat is silent, but it's steadily encroaching on the island nation's shores. Climate change is the culprit. As global temperatures rise, so do sea levels. This is a reality the Maldives is grappling with. The impact is devastating. Homes are being swallowed by the sea. Land is disappearing. The very existence of the Maldives is at stake. The government is taking action. They're investing in seawalls and other protective measures. But the question remains, will it be enough? The Maldives is on the front line of climate change. Its struggle is a stark reminder of the urgent need for global action. The fate of this island paradise hangs in the balance. Imagine the chaos of relocating an entire country. The Maldives faced this daunting task during a revolt. In the capital, Malaysia, important buildings were seized. The government building, telephone exchange, and bank were all captured. The army guards began to shoot. President Maumoon Abdul Gayoom realized the severity of the situation. He even spoke to Rajiv Gandhi, pleading for military assistance. The Maldivian ambassador, A.K. Banerjee, was in Delhi at the time. He was awakened by a call from the embassy at 6:30 in the morning. The president's visit to Delhi had been cancelled, but the crisis was just beginning. Relocating a country is a monumental task, fraught with challenges. The Maldives experience is a stark reminder of this. In the midst of chaos, President Gayoom was under threat. Bullets echoed and rebels roamed the streets. Their aim was to capture Gayoom and targeting government buildings and airports. The opposition was closing in. News reached Rajiv Gandhi, who was out of Delhi. He returned immediately, understanding the gravity of the situation. A meeting was held, and the decision was to save the president. We have to help him and save the president, declared Gandhi. In these tense moments, the reign of Maumoon Abdul Gayoom was at stake. Actually, in the same year, the Maldives faced a revolution. The rebels had captured the Malaysian airport, leaving the government in a quandary. The Chief of Army, Lieutenant General Sir Frederick Edgeworth Morgan, best known as the Chief of Staff to the Supreme Allied Commander, called for a discussion. Many were unfamiliar with the Maldives geography. They needed to understand the lay of the land. Then, Rajiv Gandhi, the Prime Minister, instructed his secretary to contact Indian Airlines pilots. These pilots, familiar with the Maldives, provided crucial information. The tourism department also contributed, given the popularity of the Maldives as a tourist destination. After gathering all the information and studying the maps, a decision was made. The army would carry out an operation, but with the Malaysian airport occupied, there was only one option left: the Hulhul Airport. The 1988 Maldives Revolution was a critical moment in history. It showcased the importance of information, planning, and decisive action in times of crisis. In the midst of uncertainty, a terrorist organization attempted to seize power in the Maldives. The situation was tense, with incomplete information about their capture. Details about the Hulhul Air Base were scarce. The length of the runway, the layout, everything was unknown. Gathering this information was crucial. The army decided to involve Mr. A.K. Baniji, our ambassador. They believed his presence could be beneficial in the operation. But Mr. Banerjee had two conditions. First, he needed permission from the Foreign Ministry, as he reported to them. Second, he had a personal rule. He never did anything without shaving. The first condition was quickly met, thanks to the involvement of Rajiv Gandhi. With permission granted, the Air Force Base in Agra was opened at night. Essentials like a razor, toothpaste, and a brush were arranged for Mr. Banerjee. He was ready to face the challenge. In the face of uncertainty and danger, preparation and determination were key. The attempt to overthrow power in the Maldives was met with resistance and readiness. Senior Foreign Minister officer was about to make a historic visit to the army. A part of the army was flown from Agra, led by Brigade Leader Bulsara. They flew non-stop towards Maldives. It was night when they landed, and about 150 commandos disembarked. Another plane was en route from a different location. They were prepared for a possible attack at Hulhul Airport. During the flight, the pilot spotted a British Airways plane. Through air traffic control, they were asked their destination. They revealed they were heading to Maldives. This information leaked, reaching the BBC via British Airways. The news broke that an Indian army was heading to Maldives for a significant military operation. This was a historic moment, marking the first time a senior foreign minister officer was visiting the army. News leaked due to a phone call. Amidst chaos, a plane landed at Hulhul Airport, controlled by traitors. A defense minister's officer in Delhi called, describing the tense situation. He saw the government building under control and bullets flying. He was instructed not to hang up the phone. Keeping the line open was crucial. If disconnected, the light on the phone would go off, revealing his actions and endangering his life. He obeyed, leaving the phone off the receiver for 18 hours until the operation ended. A tense, silent vigil. President Gayoom found himself in a precarious situation, forced to seek refuge in a safe house due to imminent danger. In the safe house, he was guarded by loyal protectors. However, a communication mishap almost led to a disastrous confrontation. The Indian army, having arrived to rescue Gayoom, was initially stopped by the guards. Miscommunication had led the guards to believe they were a threat. The situation escalated to the point where the Indian army was compelled to fire at the guards. A tense standoff ensued. Luckily, a timely message clarified the situation. The guards then allowed the Indian army to enter the safe house. The Indian army successfully extracted President Gayoom. With only 10 minutes to spare, they whisked him away to safety. Once out of the safe house, Gayoom was informed of his destination, a safe location in India. The details of the situation remained unknown to him. In the heart of the night, a rescue operation unfolded in the Maldives. President Gayoom, under threat, insisted on being taken to the National Security Service headquarters. At 3:15 am, the Indian Army, led by Brigadier Bulsara and Ambassador A.K. Banerjee arrived. The scene was grim, with bodies of terrorists and guards outside the headquarters, bullet-riddled walls, and signs of destruction. Despite his fear, President Gayoom remained in control. Once the Indian army arrived, he felt safe for the first time. He expressed his desire to speak with Rajiv Gandhi. At Fort Am, with all hostages captured by the terrorists, President Gayoom spoke to Rajiv Gandhi via satellite phone. Grateful, he thanked the Indian Prime Minister for the support. The Indian army had successfully completed their first mission, say in President Gayoom. However, the task was not over. The rebels still posed a threat, and the Indian Army's ships and commandos were on their way. In a daring mission, a group found themselves at Hulhul Air Base. Realizing the difficulty of their situation, one by one, they began to retreat. Those from Sri Lanka fled using speedboats. However, the Indian water force had joined the rally, leading to a fierce battle on the boats. Bullets flew, and 19 terrorists were killed. 2 more were killed while being taken as prisoners. The Maldives National Security Guard launched an attack, and within 48 hours, the Maldives was completely pacified. President Gayoom regained control, and the perpetrators were arrested. News of this operation spread worldwide. From America to Britain, nations praised the Indian Army government for their swift action. They had not only saved their own country, but also assisted others. However, not everyone was pleased. Sri Lanka expressed dissatisfaction, citing the Indian Army's actions as questionable. Despite this, Operation Cactus demonstrated India's ability to conduct successful operations both domestically and internationally. The Indian Army's Operation Cactus is a source of national pride. It is a testament to India's ability to successfully execute operations in foreign lands. In 2008, President Gayoom, who had been in power for 20 years, faced opposition. A journalist stepped up, voicing dissent and rallying the opposition. In 2008, democratic elections were held for the first time. The journalist turned politician Nasheed ran a campaign focused on human rights. He won the most votes and formed the government. Within a few years, Nasheed recognized tourism as Maldives' biggest income source. He opened the doors to international tourists, inviting a mix of reactions. Some opposed it, viewing it as a Western influence on the Islamic country, home to many Sunni Muslims. Operation Cactus is a shining example of the Indian Army's capabilities. It's a story of political change, human rights, and the power of tourism. It's a story that continues to resonate with pride in India. Political turmoil rocked the Maldives when the government of Nasheed fell. Abdul Gayoom's stepbrother then took the reins. In 2018, a Supreme Court decision to release Nasheed and others from jail caused a stir. Nasheed went to Britain for treatment, but Gayoom's stepbrother refused to accept the decision. The Supreme Court's chief judge, who made the decision, was imprisoned. This sparked uproar, leading to a 15-day emergency and the eventual resignation of the government. A new president was elected, with Narendra Modi attending the inauguration in 2018. Yet, the political unrest continues in the Maldives. The worst part is the increasing strife in the Maldives. Reports surfaced that many Muslim youths from the Maldives had been brainwashed and sent to Syria and Iraq to fight for ISIS. The Maldives is now at risk of becoming a hub for terrorist activities. It's up to the current government to prevent this from happening. The leaked news and the phone call have revealed a nation in crisis. Welcome to a tale of bravery and heroism. Today we're diving into the story of Operation Cactus. Imagine a beautiful country with pristine sea waters that change color over distance. A place with a small population, a paradise for tourists worldwide. In this paradise, a crisis unfolded. The Indian Army stepped in, their mission to rescue a person of importance. With courage and determination, they succeeded. They saved not just a person, but an entire country from the clutches of rebels. That's the story of Operation Cactus, a testament to the bravery of an Indian army. Until next time, take care and stay well.